Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of big business. And let's just say today's filing from Vicarious Surgical Incorporated has some moves that might make you raise an eyebrow, or maybe even two. Get ready folks, because Vicarious Surgical Inc. has just dropped a Form 8K, which is basically a company's way of quickly telling the world about some pretty important stuff that's happened. Now, in the grand scheme of financial filings, an 8K is usually for big, sudden events, but this one, it's more about an update to their investor presentation. Think of it like the company casually mentioning they've tweaked their sales pitch, and here is the new version for everyone to see. The big news here: on the 23rd of September of 2025, Vicarious Surgical Inc., or the company as they call themselves, updated their investor presentation. This isn't some earth-shattering event like a new product launch or a massive merger, but it is what they chose to announce today through this official filing. So what's in this presentation that's worth a formal announcement? They say their senior management plans to use it when they talk to investors and analysts. It's basically their current story for the people who hold their stock or are thinking about it. You can find it on their investors' website, but for the sake of this filing, they're also formally attaching it as an exhibit. Now, why should you care about an investor presentation update? Well, it tells you what the company wants you to know and how they want you to think about their business right now. It's their narrative. And in this case, the presentation seems to be all about their class common stock, specifically the very low par value of 0.0001 per share. They also highlight their warrants to purchase one share of class common stock, each at an exercise price of $11.50 per share. This tells us about the different types of financial instruments they have out there that can turn into actual stock. Warrants are essentially options that give someone the right to buy stock at a certain price, and this filing confirms that those exist and what the price is. Both their common stock ticker symbol RBOT and these specific warrants RBOTWS are traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This is the big league. Folks trading on the NYSE means they've met certain standards and are accessible to a wide range of investors. Scroll Imaging Growth Company checkbox mark indication checkbox mark indication errors. An interesting tick box. They've indicated they are an emerging growth company, which is common for newer public companies. This status often comes with certain regulatory advantages, like being able to delay adopting new accounting standards. However, they have not elected to use the extended transition period for these standards, meaning they're keeping pace with the newer accounting rules, which is generally a sign of transparency, or at least an attempt at it. They are filing this under what's called Regulation FD disclosure. This regulation is all about fairness in how companies communicate. It basically means that if a company shares important, non-public information with certain people, like Wall Street analysts, they have to share that same information with everyone else at the same time. So this filing is their way of making sure that whatever is in that investor presentation is now public knowledge. Scroll exhibit number 99.1, swine. Exhibit number 99.1, the actual meat of the update. The investor presentation is tagged as exhibit 99.1. This is the document that holds all the details management wants to share. And who's signing off on this? None other than Stephen from the Chief Executive Officer. This means the top boss is aware of and approving the information being disseminated. The date on this report is the 23rd of September 2025. So what's the story here? Vicarious Surgical Inc. is putting out an updated investor presentation. While this specific filing doesn't give us hard financial numbers like revenue or profit from a balance sheet, the fact that they are emphasizing their stock's par value and warrants in their presentation suggests they might be looking to manage perceptions around their share structure, or perhaps prepare for future financing activities where these instruments could play a role. The value of a stock, S-par value, is usually very small, practically symbolic, representing the bare minimum value assigned to a share when it's issued. However, companies do sometimes draw attention to it, and in this case, it is linked to common stock. Their warrants with that $11.50 exercise price indicate how much someone would need to pay to buy a share under those warrant agreements. If the stock price rises significantly above that, those warrants become more valuable. Now, looking at the broader picture for Vicarious Surgical Inc. based on this filing. Firstly, they are a public company trading on the New York Stock Exchange, ticker RBOT, which places them under significant scrutiny. They are also classifying themselves as an emerging growth company, indicating a relatively newer stage in their public market journey. This means they are likely still building out their operations, expanding their market reach, and trying to prove their business model. The primary focus of this filing is the communication strategy, specifically an updated investor presentation. This tells us that management is actively engaged in shaping how investors view the company's progress and potential. They have common stock with a very nominal par value, and also warrants that allow holders to purchase shares at $11.5. These warrants are a form of financial leverage that can be beneficial for the company if the stock price performs well, as it brings in cash upon exercise. However, it also represents potential dilution of existing shareholder equity. The fact that they are not delaying new accounting standards is a positive sign for transparency, as it means they are likely adopting current best practices in financial reporting. For Vicarious Surgical, the risks and opportunities likely lie in the successful commercialization of their technology, which we can infer by the focus on their stock and warrants. If their surgical platforms gain significant traction and market adoption, the value of their shares and warrants could increase substantially, making their investor communication efforts more impactful. Conversely, challenges in market penetration, competitive pressures, or regulatory hurdles could dampen investor enthusiasm. This filing doesn't give us the numbers to analyze their financial health directly, but it does highlight their ongoing efforts in investor relations, which is crucial for any public company, especially one in a potentially high-growth sector like surgical technology. They are essentially managing expectations and communicating their future outlook. In conclusion, this filing is more of a strategic communication update than a financial performance report. Vicarious Surgical Inc. is updating its narrative to investors, emphasizing its stock and warrants. The company is navigating its public life as an emerging growth entity, and its focus is on presenting a clear current picture of its value proposition to the market. While we don't see the numbers today, this filing sets the stage for how they want their story to be told moving forward. Alright, that is our breakdown of Vicarious Surgical's latest filing. What is your take on these updates, and what do you think they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out the Discord server in the description below for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.